you being recorded doing something. You're being recorded doing something that you can't take back, and it has effects. It has these effects that may cost you, the job, money, family, friends, whatever. Way down the line, could potentially ruin your life. It may have ruined this lady's life.
Check out Get It Off Your Chest Media. They the best.
So I'm not going to say too much. I think we're just going to watch the video and we're going to give our reactions. All right.
Sophia Rosing called this black student the N-word 200 times in 10 minutes, even saying that's why you can't get a job. You see, Kylah Spring was working as the university dormitory's receptionist that day, and didn't recognize Sophia as a resident. So when Kylah stopped Sophia from entering, Sophia began physically attacking her, and would not stop calling her the N-word, even when she was being arrested. But Sophia never expected the court to give her a severe punishment. You see, she was handed 12 months in jail, 100
that she requested the whatchamacallit and got denied. She did. I'm talking like I'm actually glad she did, because the reason of it was
can't be downplayed, yo.
Yeah, it downplayed the seriousness of the crime. Nobody ever thinks about that. Nobody. How many people have you heard think about that? Where they'll just give them the right away. It's like the judge, whoever the judge was, and I don't care what color the judge was, could have been yellow, green, purple. I don't care. They realized that this was a sensitive topic, and it may have caused more of an uproar at their college campus if they found out that she, got off on the easy thing she asked, and they said okay. So I'm thinking the judge probably took all of that into consideration too. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Stuff does. You look at a lot of the things that do happen as far as anything that's racially driven. Like you look at the police killing a lot of blacks. You look at you name it. It's just out there. And look at the Rodney King thing. Let's take it way the fuck back. Let's look at the Rodney King
man, we might have to refresh people's memory for that one.
Yeah, let's take it to Rodney King thing. This is
Google it.
I believe the whole Rodney King thing is where YouTube probably got his fucking start. I could be wrong. I don't know, but it was recorded where a black man was pulled over by police and he was brutally attacked by the police. He got his ass got beat the fuck down, and when they acquitted the police officers that were on videotape, because there's just a random person had a camcorder, and I know you millennials and you motherfuckers, you new niggas don't know what the fuck a goddamn camcorder is, but it's basically a handheld camera that, before your fucking cell phones came out, you little goofy bastards. But
I know, now they can shoot the moon.
You know what I'm saying? But it was a handheld camera, that we made, held a fucking videotape that was about this goddamn big. But somebody recorded the police beating Rodney King, and they were like beating the hell out of him with the batons and the whole shit or whatever. He was trying to be, he was trying to submit in the whole nine, blah, blah, blah. He got his ass beat. The police officers that were involved, they were acquitted of the crime that they were accused of. And this caused the riots in LA. This caused a truck driver named Reginald Denny to be dragged out of his truck in the middle of Watts or wherever it was in LA, that he got dragged out of his truck, and the neighborhood individuals beat the hell out of him. So you can Google the rest of it. But at the end of the day, these are the things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, and we look at this stuff and say, God damn, you know, this one gets away with it, but this one doesn't. Oh, he didn't pull it up. Cheese and crackers. And you see, that's the thing. It's like punishment for the crime that she committed. You using the N-word over 200 and some times, and you think that you're just gonna get off and be scot-free or whatever, and that's not cool. And everybody looks at it like, damn, that ain't okay. You know what I'm saying? Because it's, you know, even though this Rodney King thing was what, in the 90s?
Yeah.
We're tired of this shit, yo. And everybody got in their own head how they would handle situations if they were in it and so forth and so on or whatever. But you really don't know how you would handle it unless you were really in the situation, unless something happened to you, you know, that you had to deal with it and make a decision. But you know, I just think that it's messed up that people can get away with certain things, and I have a big problem with people doing something messed up to somebody, but they get to sleep at night, but the individual that got hurt or they got wronged, they have to sit here and deal with all of this mental trauma. You know what I mean? And I just don't feel that it's fair. So, you know, when it comes to that young lady who thought that she was going to get off, I'm glad that, no, the court's denied whatever the fuck there was that she was trying to get off on. They denied it. You're going to do your motherfucking time. I'm okay with that.
I agree. I think,
and that's why. And this is, I was long-winded about it, but this is, you know, I wanted to take it back a little bit. It's just kind of give a little bit of history of why, you know, it's just so important that, you know, people do the time for the crime that they committed. They get the punishment that, you know what I mean, that deserves the fucking crime that they committed, because, you know, sometimes people just kind of get off and they get to walk away, and that shit ain't fair for everybody, you know what I'm saying? You got, you know, mothers that lose their children, and, you know what I'm saying? And you got motherfuckers that just sit here and just, you know, you sit here and just be like, oh, well, yeah, well, they get off and they get acquitted for something or whatever, and, you know, you got people that just look at it like, God damn, like, it's fucked up.
Yeah.
I can't sleep at night because, you know what I'm saying? Like, this Rodney King thing. That man probably didn't sleep for fucking years, bro. He probably didn't get a good night's sleep for fucking years.
Listen, after you get beat like that,
come on, man.
And hold on, not only did you get beat like that, but that got played and played and played. And every time you left your house, you were recognized as that person who, exactly. So this girl, when it comes to her situation, the black lady was in the right. She was in her place. What the counselor or the TA should have done is, she said she did not, and I'm going to take her at her word. She says she did not recognize her. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. That's what a TA is supposed to do. They're supposed to make sure that the right people are in the right hall. This is what you do. Because I was a TA. If you don't recognize somebody, you ask them, who are you? They tell you, can I see your ID? If you don't have the ID, hey, let me make a call, and we'll find out exactly who you are. And they'll let you know right on your little communicator. If you don't have the communicator, you can use one of the phones that are in someone's room or whatever. They'll let you do it. And then you confirm the person. And if they're not supposed to be there, then you ask them to leave. Now, here's the problem. In no way, shape, or form should the word nigger have ever come out of her mouth, because it doesn't matter whether she's black, white, green, or yellow. If she's not supposed to be there, you ask that person, not nigger person, to leave. If she's green, if she's a plant, if she's a dog, I don't give a shit. You ask that person, well, animal if it's a dog, but you ask that person to leave. Yellow, green, Asian, black, whatever. They're people. So you never have to confuse that she had that deep-seated feeling or that animosity in her already, because you didn't have to mention
It was there.
that at all.
You didn't have to go that far. You did not have to take it to that extreme at all.
Remember I said,
The young lady was doing her job. You did not have to take it to that extreme. But that's the thing right there where, the so-called privilege,
Yep, there it is.
The privilege thing, to some, it's just like a fucking idea. And it's like, come on, man, that's not really a real thing. But to others, it's a real thing because what they make it a real thing. I.e. in that situation, they make it a real thing because you try to make it like, okay, I'm white, and you should bow down to me because I have the right to do whatever it is that you're trying to stop me from doing.
You know what's funny?
Around and feel that you can say these words and then and try to degrade a person. It's like, no, that ain't cool, and you're not right.
Check this out. Let me add on to that with the privilege part. You're right about the I'm white and I'm here and you're not supposed. But the other thing that she has inside of her is too. This is an area that your kind is not supposed to be in. Think about that, because of the way she addressed it. It wasn't that person's not supposed to be there. I'm pretty sure she addressed her strictly because she didn't think that persuasion of person was supposed to be in that area. This is our area. Why are you here? That's that kind of, I believe that.
We shouldn't be here. Right.
Exactly.
He might have even been a student. He probably was a student too. He may be working there.
She was a student. If I'm not mistaken, she had been doing a lot of extra work and got tired, and she fell asleep there. Which, if you go to college, if you've ever gone away to college, you will find people, college students especially, used to be computer programmers and people who just crammed and stuff like that. We were up all night, falling asleep, all in the hallways. As long as it was your hallway dorm, there were people who slept in the computer room waiting for a computer to process the whole thing so you could find out if you made a mistake or not. So that whole thing, she walked in, she saw something or someone that she thought deep down inside, you're in the wrong place. You don't belong here. This is not your area. Why are you here? Instead of saying, you know what, this could be a student. They could have paid for this. They could have, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, you know what? I agree. This is a, her making her finish her sentence, the judge should hopefully someone send a message to someone, because not only she had to finish the time, she got kicked out of school, the repercussions are going to follow. There's multiple punishments here that follow her after this is all done. So, I'm glad this was put out there, because I always wondered what happened with her, because I knew her life was going to be messed up. It didn't matter if she did like a month and she came out and they gave her a slap on the hand. The fact that her face was all over the internet, she was already done for, as far as I'm concerned. Eventually, and this is, when did this video come out, like a year or two ago?
Something like that. Now,
yeah, like,
you know what I think would have even been a very good punishment for her? I would, and I always think like this, because to me, there's no way to get past this line of thinking other than to put them together for an extended period of time. That is it. Because then when you realize you guys have to kind of rely on each other and stuff like that, all that stuff eventually goes out the window. But it takes a little while. So what I think is the best, instead of doing the whole, now I'm not going to say community service and all that stuff is not great. Perfect. But what I'm saying is, she should be made to do community service in what they would consider an undeserved, I'm trying to say it right, an undeserved community or underserved community. So if she's going to do community service, Put her in a Salvation Army in a black neighborhood where black people work, so that she can find out that.
So that was the whole point of community service.
Thank you.
And in situations where whatever you were accused of, or whatever the violation was, or what have you, you were put in a situation. Because just like they say, prison is supposed to be about reform and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Social community service, because it's kind of a gateway to prison, if you think about it. But yeah, if you were in a situation where you robbed somebody that really didn't have much, you should be put in a situation where you're serving people that don't have very much, like working in a soup kitchen and serving the homeless and stuff like that, or whatever, to give you that insight or a different vision of life. Like, okay, I see how these people live, and it's supposed to turn you like, okay, all right, I got to do better, because I see how these people are fucked up and how I just really try to violate that. And
honestly, the whole point, I think, is to show that these people, if they don't have as much as you, they're still not different than you. You still have the same life things. You still need water. You still need sun. You still need a place to live. You still need food. Everybody has the basic same needs. So on the surface, everybody's the same. It's just, where do you go after that? Because let's put it this way. If I deprive you of a house, you're going to feel it just like any other person. If I deprive you of food, you're going to starve just like everybody else. If I don't give you blood, you're going to die. If you can't breathe, you're going to die just like any other person is going to die. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're David Copperfield or Harry Houdini, they can hold their breath, I guess, for a while. Deep divers, those people that hit the bottom of the ocean with one breath. Yeah, I like those guys. But I ain't gonna lie. But anyway, I'm way off top. But anyway,
just have us spend the next few months with just some black people.
Yeah,
more than a black family. This is what you're saying. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Stay here.
Listen, start inviting Hertz to cook out.
Loser.